Food, a daily necessity for us all. We look to our food for sustenance, for nutrition, and for pleasure. But many now also look to their food for something more, for a connection to their local community. Where their food comes from and how it is grown is an important factor for many consumers. Jerry Campbell, professor and extension specialist in agricultural and applied economics at the University of Wisconsin-Madison, has a strong interest in issues of sustainable agriculture and evolving food systems.
Sustainable agriculture refers to practicing agriculture in a way that pays attention to the environment and the ecological effects of agriculture, pays attention to the ability of the farmer and the farm family to earn a living from that agriculture, pays attention to the community that that agriculture is involved with, and can be practiced for a long period of time without doing dramatic harm to the environment, the people, the animals, the world around it. Someone once said that sustainable agriculture is really more like a direction than it is the address of a specific place.
A desire to know how their food is produced has led to support for the sustainable agriculture movement. At Jen Air Farms in Sun Prairie, Wisconsin, Kay Jensen and Paul Earhart make sustainable agriculture the focus of their operation.
Kay and I have been farming here organically for the past six years, 6 seasons. And prior to that, we both have conventional dairy farm backgrounds in the state of Wisconsin.
And the hardest thing for us is changing our mindset from a formula of farming to working with nature. Paul will always tell you that nature bats last. And most farmers will say that, but I'm not sure we always believe that. Working with nature so that we're complementing the farm and making it a better place when we leave it instead of a depleted place. Our chickens are out on pasture, and we could do a lot of things to control predators. I mean, there's trapping, there's shooting, there's permits we could get for a number of those kinds of fatal options. And what we've chosen instead is to realize, first of all, those predators have a purpose on this farm. We don't have a rabbit problem because we have hawks, coyotes, and owls. And so instead of saying, all right, how do we protect our chickens by getting rid of the predators, we say, how do we protect our chickens and let the predators still exist?
In the industrial agriculture model that we have, where one farm might be running 2, 3, 5, 10,000 acres, they can't spend time in that field. Normally, they're there once to plant, once to spray, once to harvest. The farmer may only be on that farm 3 times during the entire season. That's not enough time to develop a relationship with that farm and know what's going on there. Whereas if I'm not in every field every week, I've missed something. We may get fairly far into a crop and realize that the best thing for us to do is to abandon that crop and to rip it up. Where a conventional grower would never even dream of doing something like that. But you know, it's small enough areas for us. It's not like we're ripping everything up, you know, that we can do things like that just based on the tools that we have, because we don't have the chemical tools that you know, you can come in there and just wipe out a problem and start over. We have to work with nature instead of against it.
The other thing we do is we direct market. We sell directly to the people who use what we grow, and in this case, it's organic produce, vegetables, and pasture-raised poultry. So we're selling at farmers markets, we're selling at restaurants to chefs. Isn't it nice?
Just as good as when I was out at your farm.
Yeah.
I pulled them out.
Yep.
Delicious.
We're selling to our neighbors through our CSA, and we're making sure that literally our neighbors, the folks right down the road, are eating our food as well. And we really want to create a partnership with our customers. We want to sit down throughout the year and say, how does this work for you? Is there something we're not growing that we can grow for you?
Thank you. Thanks. Thanks a lot.
We really work on a local basis. We want our customers to eat locally, to purchase locally, because of all of the benefits of economics, of knowing who grows your food. And they really are connected. that local consumption, that local purchase, and small families, small farms run by the people who live there, staying there and seeing the repercussions of what they're doing, we have better stewards. And the only way to keep those farmers there is for local consumers to purchase from those farmers.
Supporting local farmers is vital to sustainable agriculture, but connecting these growers with consumers can be a challenge. Thinking beyond the traditional marketplace has become a necessity. Modeled after successful operations in such states as Iowa and Ohio, produce auctions have begun recently in Wisconsin.
Seller number 14, we've got 2 half-bushel boxes of small pumpkins.
The auctions bring together farmers seeking a viable new outlet and buyers who want to emphasize local farm produce. The Badgerland Produce Auction near Montello, Wisconsin, is the result of the efforts of local farmers coming together to create an alternative market for their produce. Juanita McDowell is the auction manager.
You're at the Badgerland Produce Co-op auction near Montello, and basically this is a small group of farmers who have gotten together hoping to find a new way to wholesale produce. And we found that many farmers who were wholesaling in the past with larger concerns were kind of getting squeezed out. And so we felt that it was important that there be something for the small farmer who wanted to diversify and be able to keep farming and work on his family farm and not have to go to town and take a job to support his family when his heart was in farming. We have a lot of farm stand people who maybe grow sweet corn or they grow tomatoes or whatever, but they don't have enough to augment a large stand. And so what they do is basically come and they purchase the things they do not have to augment it and make it larger. Now they may have too much of what they are growing, so they may be a buyer and a seller.
Seller number 2, we've got 40 pumpkins. We're going to do it by the pumpkin, your choice. We'll start with $2.
So they may be producing something for the market, they'll bring it in, and at the same time turn around and take a load home. We think that we do have, however, something great to offer them. And that is that our produce is probably picked yesterday afternoon, last night, or even this morning before they come in. 10 o'clock it's sold. By 2 o'clock you can have it home in your establishment or serving it in your restaurant that night, which makes it probably 24 hours or less old. And it's pretty hard to get that freshness anywhere else. We're trying to do a good job for the family farm. And we're trying to present a place where they can market, because it's very hard to break into the market. Just showing you that life is changing for the farmer. And instead of folding up and sitting down and going, oh dear, we just need to say, hey, there's other ways of doing things, so let's get with it. And that's what we're doing. We're getting with it.
Finding other ways of doing things and creating a connection between local farmers and local consumers. The decisions consumers make regarding their food choices goes beyond just the produce brought to market. According to Jerry Campbell, the dimension of knowing where food comes from is essential.
We all know that food's a necessity. We know that after a few days without food, we would expire. But we live in a culture where food is so readily available that we've sort of forgotten about where it comes from and who produces it. I think it's a dangerous thing for any culture to get so disengaged from the sources of basic dimensions of life as to take them for granted or not understand where they come from. We have enough resources to make decisions about food, and we're going to make decisions that influence what we value. The more we value our local community, our local environment, the more we're going to be interested in local food.
Interest in local food can be seen in the growing popularity of farmers markets, community-supported agriculture, and farm-to-school programs such as the Wisconsin Homegrown Lunch in Madison. This project partners area farmers with elementary schools for field trips, classroom visits, and special meals served in conjunction with the Madison School District Food Service. Iris Tirado is the food service coordinator for the Madison School District.
Traditionally, the schools do picnics, and last year we have combined it with the homegrown program, where we do the traditional food service with the hot dogs, but in addition to that, we try to bring new foods and local growers' food. This year we're featuring the rhubarb muffin with local grown rhubarb.
Rhubarb muffins. These are yummy. That has some rhubarb in it.
And spring mix salad, which contains different lettuce, red, green, some red cabbage, carrots, and spinach.
Well, I loved the food because it tasted so fresh compared to our normal lunches, and I think it was a great I hope they will do it again, the program. It was so good.
I think they should have these kind of food every day.
Well, I, like many other people, value improving school lunches and the availability of quality food here in schools. And this is just one of the many ways that we can improve what kids get to eat in the schools, what they're exposed to, and also what they know about food, all the information that comes along with it, like the political ramifications of buying locally grown food. Well, the kids, I think, are really thrilled about it. This has really piqued their interest and made them realize how much they generally dislike school lunches. And it surprised us with how much they enjoy locally grown, fresh, organic produce. You can give them raw carrots and they'll be thrilled about it. And they're really disappointed with the prepackaged school lunches. So it's really gotten a lot of attention from the kids. It's a big deal.
Yeah, I would say the fourth graders were the most enthusiastic farm workers I'd ever seen. They were telling me about other field trips they'd gone on, and they told me this was the best field trip ever. And I think my favorite part was they all had to clean their carrots, and then they gently wrapped them up in paper towels and took them home. So I didn't think a carrot could generate that much excitement, but it really did. I think kids, some don't have any idea where food comes from at all. And this just makes it clearer that things don't come wrapped in plastic or in a little box or something. And I think it gives it a different perspective, that they understand the whole of the food industry better, so that when they grow up, they could probably make better choices than perhaps we have.
Like a muffin? Oh, they were so good.
We're in classrooms all the time with fresh, crunchy vegetables they have never even heard or seen of before, and they are tripping over each other to eat them. In an educational setting, it's amazing what you can do with kids, and they're very eager to try and love the stuff that we offer them. But in the cafeteria, it's a little harder sell. The food service is very supportive of what we do in the classroom, because we can support then changes they might make in the food service, and the kids will have that familiarity and that background to recognize something and to know that it was good once or twice, it's going to be good again. So that's sort of how that partnership works. But I think the kids are ready for it. I think they would love to see some higher quality stuff in their lunches, and they would recognize it as that.
How is the food today?
It's really good.
Yeah, what do you like about it?
It tastes better than like regular produce because it's like grown closer to here.
Would you like a little salad?
There you go.
Local gives us a sense of belonging to the place where we are. If I go over here and buy zucchini from somebody I've known and been to this market and met week after week after week, that zucchini has a different meaning to me than if I bought that zucchini shrink wrapped with a label on it that had a nutritional analysis on it. It is literally a different product. And so, yeah, it's a different experience. It's a different value set. It's valuing different things.
A different product, a different experience, valuing different things. The sustainable agriculture movement is creating an agriculture that meets the needs of the farmer, the consumer, the community, and the environment.